Good morning, everyone. It's Erin Gilly with Engel & Volker's Western Frontier. We are on video 2 for our reverse mortgage series. So we'll start off with, on a reverse mortgage, typically you can receive anywhere from 30 to 75% of your available equity in your home, and that's based on interest rates and your current age. FHA guarantees these loans like we talked about in the last video. First, they guarantee that there are no payments that are ever to be made until you permanently vacate the house. In most cases, this is when one of the spouses or the spouses on the loan pass away, and then at that point you have 1 year to refinance it, sell the house, or figure out what you're going to do. So your heirs have an entire year after you permanently vacate the house. Second, only your home equity is responsible for the loan, and this is huge because you are not personally guaranteed or signed on the loan, just like you are with a forward mortgage. So you're not responsible for it, your heirs are not responsible for it, your estate's not responsible for it, your trust isn't responsible for it, or any other assets you own. If you pass away and you've used all the equity and home prices have decreased and there's a negative balance that's due, FHA covers that balance and everybody walks away. So that's huge because it doesn't tie up any other assets other than your primary residence. If you pass away and there is still equity left, your heirs have a year to sell the house, and then they would get the remaining equity as part of their inheritance. Payments are optional with HECMs. You don't have to pay payments, but you can pay payments, and a lot of people don't realize that. So you can make monthly payments, you can make annual payments, you can make lump sum payments. People do this to manage their cash flow. Sometimes there's tax benefits to pulling out of your IRA and paying off your HECM so you don't get taxed as much on that. A lot of different ways that you can structure it, but payments can be made, which is another misconception that most people don't understand. Again, one of the spouses has to be 62 years old. The other requirement, it has to be on your primary residence, can't be on a second home, and your credit and income must be able to pay taxes and insurance. So you have to have decent credit and you have to have some sort of monthly income to ensure that you can pay back the loan or maintain your taxes and insurance during the life of the loan. So I'm gonna read a little excerpt out of this book to you guys. Again, just to kind of get your brain thinking of different scenarios. So in this story, there's two couples, Diane and Bob, and Linda and David. They live next door to one another in similarly valued homes in a nice neighborhood. Bob and David are both retired at the same time from the same company. Bob drew Social Security at 62. In fact, he signed up the same day as he retired. David decided to wait and took out a reverse mortgage. Took payments from age 62 to 70 from the reverse mortgage to supplement the money that they were not getting in Social Security. All four of them worked part-time for fun money. Bob's monthly Social Security check was $1,500. By the time David got to 70, his monthly Social Security was more than $2,600 a month. When they went on vacation together or bought new cars, they both would draw money from their IRAs. Bob paid more in taxes most years because of his Social Security, IRA, and part-time income created more income tax. David's income from the HECM was not taxable, so he drew out money from the IRA and he didn't need to pay as much or very little in taxes. After enjoying more than 2 decades of retirement, both Bob and David died at 85. Now it wasn't David and Bob, it was just Diane and Linda. She had more money left in her IRA. Linda's Social Security check was almost double than Diane's, and she had more money left in her IRA. Every time she drew it out, she would make payments to her HECM line of credit and receive a tax deduction on the interest that had accrued. Almost all of her IRA ended up coming out tax-free. Diane could not make ends meet with her drastically reduced income. She asked Linda about her HECM, which Bob had always said was a dumb idea. Linda told her about the program, but it had changed dramatically in the past 20 years. Because of her real estate taxes had increased on the IRA was mostly gone, Diane could no longer qualify on her own anymore. Now she would need to decide whether to borrow money on her credit cards to keep things going or to sell her home before she got behind on her taxes. So as you're planning on retirement, unfortunately the statistics say that men are passing away earlier and Social Security is getting cut in half. So it's just something to think about as you're starting to plan your retirement and how you're going to live out your future to make sure that both spouses are taken care of. And this is a great option to make sure that that is true. I hope you guys have a great weekend and stay warm.